Let's see, what do we have here today? And for anyone out there, I'm a little snarky sparky, so this is good timing. And as a little side note, because people always ask me, why do you bother with these people with their negative comments and their meanness and all that? And it's because, like, when I was growing up and even afterwards as an adult, when people would say terrible things to me, I would cower in the corner. I was terrified of speaking out, of creating conflict when they were actually the problem. You'll see by the comment in a moment. I was too, I don't know, I was just too afraid of what somebody could say to me if I confronted them, as if words could rip me apart, as if they had all this power. And there's a good reason why. Because the way that my mother eviscerated me on a daily basis, words did have power. That's what I learned. I learned that words could destroy me. And it's not true. The lessons she taught me, none of them are true. Not one. Well, okay, maybe good table manners. Okay, she gave me something good. Outside of that, though, like seriously, on a serious note, and actually the way she taught me table manners was through torture. So there's also that. We fear people being mean to us and standing up to them and all of that because we were conditioned to fear other people's opinions, which are like, right? Everybody's got them. Somebody who doesn't treat me with kindness and respect isn't somebody who deserves my time. That being said, I use these comments to help other people find their voice and to understand that when somebody says something nasty to you, that's about them. That's not about you. Not your circus, not your monkeys. Anyway, this is a short one. We're going to get into it and I'm going to explain the background behind it. Shame on you for breaking up with your mother. Yeah, not shame on her for trying to destroy me. Yeah, I got that. Good job. Good job. Good empathy you got there. Are you scared of somebody? I wonder. Stop posting this negative shiznit. Why? You could scroll on by if it's not for you. Oh no, I should be silent. Let's not talk about abuse. I get it. What's wrong with the letter? She didn't coddle you? How is that even relevant to the letter? What's wrong with you? Do you need to have like a checkup or something? I'm very snarky sparky today, so. Mm. All right. Let's give the letter a listen, and it's only an excerpt. And I was talking about when I broke up with my mother, when I went no contact with my mother. I don't even like to say when I broke up with my mother. It feels so minimizing. When I went no contact, when I walked away from her because she was triangulating my children, because she was weaponizing them against me, against each other, because she was teaching them that love looked like something toxic and I didn't want that normalized for them. I didn't actually go no contact with my mother because of how she was treating me directly, because I knew I deserved that treatment. Just like I knew my children didn't. I didn't understand at the time. I was only 22, maybe 23 years old. And my mother wrote me this letter because I started to create boundaries with her. I started to push back in protection of my children. That's what made her write this letter. She needed to make sure that I backed down because the handwriting was on the wall that I was finding my voice and I wasn't going to take her garbage anymore. She got scared. So she did what she always does: manipulate, bully, threaten, be a good little girl, be quiet, and we'll all get along. It was also around this time that I was asking her, practically begging her, to go to therapy with me. And this is what she decided to do. Here's the letter. Marnie, when you can accept me as a loving person who only wants the best for you, regardless of however it may appear or seem to be to you. And when you are willing to meet me halfway, I'll always be there for you because I love you. My heart goes out to you for your personal struggle. I want it to be easier and better for you, but I'm only a person like you are, and we try to survive. Marnie, I have come to a crossroads in my life, quote unquote. I will no longer be controlled by you or manipulated with your guilt trips on me, nor will I be the brunt of your blaming process to avoid your feeling responsible for your own life events. It's been a long time since I've actually listened to that part of the letter, and she didn't coddle me. No, she didn't take accountability for anything. And I wasn't even asking her directly to do so. I was asking her to go to therapy, and the handwriting was on the wall because it wasn't going to be like therapy the last time she took me. I was 17 years old when she took me to therapy because I needed help, not her. She didn't need anything. And for the first 20 minutes of that session, she totally smear campaigned me to the therapist. Oh, Marnie had a baby at 17. She ran away all the time. And at 13, she ended up living on the streets. And she's got a lot of problems. And she's been around. These are the things that my mother would say about me in front of me. I can't even imagine what she said behind my back. The result of her doing that in the therapist office, which, by the way, I'm pretty sure it was one of my aunts who was insisting that I needed help. And she was right. My mother needed help too, but that wasn't my circus or my monkeys at that time. I needed help. I had gone through SA and CSA at this point in my life from multiple individuals, including one that my mother kept feeding me back to, telling me that she knew what I was doing, what I was doing, and that I was damaged goods. Oh yeah, but she didn't coddle me. That's why I went no contact. Shame on you, like really shame on you, not shame on me. Shame on you for victim shaming. Shame on you for trying to minimize what I went through. Shame on you for not really listening to the video and jumping to the conclusion that you wanted to jump to, because probably, likely, you have victims out there that might find their voice because they watch people like me speaking out and they see how healing it is and how empowering it is. And just for a little context on the letter, an explanation, the whole thing. I'll meet you halfway. Okay, well, halfway would have been going to therapy because she loves me. Well, apparently not enough to go to therapy, right? She won't be a part of my blaming process for where my life is. And there was more to the letter than that. There's a part where she says, because of where my life is. And where my life was at that time, for the first time, was school. I was getting my CNA license and planning to go to nursing school, which, by the way, she tried to sabotage. She also tried to sabotage me even getting my GED in the first place. But she didn't coddle me. That's why I went no contact. Not because she was trying to sabotage and ruin my life, right? I was in a solid relationship with someone who had a degree in psychology. It wasn't his field of work, but it was his degree. And because of that, he was able to help me see that I wasn't actually the problem, that I was just a little girl that she tried to destroy. He's the reason I started to find my voice. And by the way, she also told him I'd been around and that I'd lived on the streets and tried to make him not want me. And in the face of that, he said to her, wow, for a 13-year-old to run away, there must have been something really wrong in the house. And that shut her down. And that was the other reason she wrote the letter. She saw me growing and she didn't want me to grow, because my growth would mean that she didn't have me as her supply anymore. At the end of the letter, she's like, let's put it all behind us and, come together. It was Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. We'll see you at 5 o'clock or whatever, however she worded it. I know, I kind of feel like I knew what time I needed to be there, but I don't know if she put that in the letter. I don't remember. I do remember her very specifically wording it in such a way, you know, quiet, be quiet, and come, show up, sweep it under the rug, status quo. You know your role in this family, stay in it. You know, so shut the F up, in other words. So anyway, I want to thank you for this comment because at the end of the day, you give me things that are important to talk about. And you allow me to give an example to people out there that your words don't matter. They're a reflection on you, not on me. And that we don't have to be quiet and that we shouldn't be quiet. It's in the quiet, in the dark, that people like you are able to get away with abuse. And what I really want abusers to know that are out there right now is that there is a point for a lot of us where we're not going to take it anymore and we're going to scream, shout from the rooftops or from the screens, and we're going to out you. I never mentioned my mother's name. I don't know that that's a permanent situation. I haven't done it in the last 5 years, actually even longer than that, because it's not about her. It's about me and what she put me through. And it's about all the victims and survivors out there who had parents like mine. It's not about her. At some point, I might out her. And at some point, somebody might out you. And I think that's your real fear. Not my circus, not my monkeys. Have a lovely day.